All aboard! Here we go. DGM, it's 1:27 in the AM. Standing by. We're taking a train to Crazy Town. Hey, Barry. We got some good stuff coming up tonight, fellas. Now, 7:27 p.m. in Manitoba, Canada. And it's freezing out. Canada's got all the snow. Coming at you. Don't worry. We got a cold day today, fellas. Don't you worry. We're coming right behind you. Everything's starting to freeze. Warning. Arch's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised. Well, coming in, just wanted to say hey to everybody, and I got some cool stuff to talk about and show tonight. In fact, I've got a new intro, so I want to show you guys sort of a new intro. A couple of you just said, Arch, while we're waiting, because we're actually a little early, it's 8:29, we're actually a little early. So this is like the pre-show. It's like the show within a show, the pre-show. So a few of you fellas had said, Arch, why don't you, since you like to start about 5 or 10 minutes and just kind of let people gather, and if I could actually make it on time at like 8:30 mark, so let's say 8:20, 8:25 or whatever, I start broadcasting and let people come in, right? And they said, why don't you run something with some music? So, well, I got a little carried away, but I have other ideas as well to kind of have like the pre-show while you're waiting. And so I had a little bit of time. Well, this past week, last week I wasn't here, and I'll get to that in a minute. But, you know, I had a little brief time. Not everybody's going to like it, I'm sure, but I'll make a few of them, and then maybe we can vote. So the usual sort of intro pre-show is the thing I just ran. I kind of just like that. I don't want to, like, push it to the side. Maybe I'll use it different. Maybe we'll, you know, do something else with it. Maybe still use it. I don't know, but thinking outside of the box a little bit. So I just want to say, hey, everybody. So I'm here. Uncle Mark is here. TGM. Mark, it's like, what did he say? It's TGM says it's 1:27 a.m. in the UK. So big shout out to the UK. Big shout out to our brothers and sisters across the pond. And Mark's all the way the heck up in Canada. So our wonderful friends up there in Canada as well. And it's freezing and probably, you know, it's late there. Mark says it's 7:27 p.m. And it was in nice old Manitoba. This is so you are the warm-up act. Yeah, I'm the warm-up act. Yes. Yeah, well, because you guys are really the act. And that's another thing I want to get to. So let me just put this up real quick. Because really, you guys, you're really the show. So I wanted to show you this. So let me see if I can get it right, because I haven't done some of this stuff in a while. So this is one of my overlays, as you guys know, and I still need to work on that as well. So I want to test out a chat window. There's a lot of times, like I have the settings in YouTube set up so that the chat window is supposed to be redisplayed. You know, in recording. And, oh, by the way, you got to remind me, I got to shut the, I got to make sure that the ads are off. And a lot of times it doesn't come back. Like you don't see it. So I was trying to work out a routine to display like me off to one side and then the chat window, you know, to the right-hand side. And it might be a little distorted. So I wanted to do that last week, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to bring that up in a little bit and see if I can get that to work. I can resize it. I can fool around with it a little bit. I'm probably not going to play with it too much tonight. That's what she said, Arch. Oh, God. I'm like a child. You know, it's guys' night. This is really, Arch is just, Saturday night's really a guys' night. Sorry, ladies. I don't mean to be so offensive. Oh, we do have some offensive stuff coming up in a little while, so I do mean to be offensive. I'll get to that. So I'll bring that up in a little bit, and maybe we can fool around with it. The idea is, and I've talked about this before, is it solves a couple of problems. The first thing is really you guys are the show. I love talking to the people in the chat. Sometimes you guys come up with stuff, and it like pushes the show in a completely different direction, or we get a little diverted for a little while. I love that. So I want to be able to read the chat, and one of you guys said, well, you hit the pop-out window. Well, yeah, but then it floats all over the place, and you guys still can't see it. So yes, I'll pop it out, pop the chat window out. It'll make it bigger. I'll bring it up on this main monitor over here, on this guy right here, where this is YouTube Studio. Bring it up on that, and I hit a button over on this thing, on this monitor over here on OBS. So I'll hit the button on that I have set up for it. And if it works, you'll see it. It may be a little distorted. We can resize it. But the real goal is two things. One, I'll be able to see it because it'll be bigger. So it won't be, oh, you see what you guys are doing, I won't have to do that as much. And you guys will see it because it'll be part of the recorded and live show. And so later on, because a lot of people like to watch later on, people can see it. Now, like I said, we can resize it as the scroll goes up. I can kind of tweak it so that it's really maybe blowing up the last 5 or 6 comments or something like that. We'll tweak it. We'll fool around with it a little while. The other thing I wanted to get to is some internet problems may be solved very soon. We're going to get to that. I want to take a look at Mr. Tecumseh's channel real fast, just quick. I mentioned it to him more than a week ago because I wanted to show it last Saturday. And he's been working on some cool tractors and selling them and stuff. And there was like 2 old ones plus a snapper. Now the snapper, I have his channel link for his home channel. If you guys don't know who he is or forgot or haven't checked him out in a little while, his link is in the description. So it's already there. It reminds me. Hold on. Let me just hit edit. And before we keep going, make sure monetization is off. Okay, it is. So we got that. And I just want to take a look real quick. One's actually a short, because sometimes he does like a demo on YouTube before he sells it, to show people they can just, because they're a lot of money, they're not cheap. They're not a lot of money, but they're not cheap. And you can, I've done this even with shorts. Like you point them to this and you're like, look, see, check it out. Go to my YouTube channel before you buy. So look at that one. That one actually is my favorite, but actually the 2 of them that I want to show you are really nice. And they're kind of both my favorites. Get to that in a little bit. Just shout out to my brother David, and I'll give him another shout out later on for helping me out with a battery purchase. I wanted to show you guys and talk a little bit about that and some upcoming stuff on batteries and the charger that I bought, which I've talked about, and the battery tester. It's not a carbon pile load tester. It's just a big nichrome W-like shaped wire. So I'm doing a review on those 2 things, and I tested up a whole bunch of tractor batteries. And so just get a little preview with that and chat a little bit about that as well. Kind of neat. I was going to do it on the car battery, and we'll talk a little bit about that again later on. But I said, you know what? Let me do the tractor batteries, because this is the time of year where me and a lot of you fellas that have tractors or, lawn tractors or slightly bigger tractors or whatever, and you've got electric start, you want to think about charging them up, testing them, maybe load testing. These products are very inexpensive. And then finding a nice suitable place to store them for the year, put them away. And I usually only do this like once a year. They're not on like a trickle charge. And that's something that now that I'm actually mentioning that, I want to make sure that I have to finish a little bit of that video. So I want to mention that. You don't need to keep them on a trickle charge. What you do need to do is sweeten them up, make sure they're okay, put them someplace nice, out of the way, maybe a little bit warmer environment or whatever. Get to that. Toxic feminism. Everybody's always talking about, you always hear this crap about toxic masculinity. Well, in a little bit, we're gonna break with some toxic femininity. Shout out to my friends and our friends over at Redacted. I think that'll be fun. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then, of course, just the usual updates later on, and maybe we'll get to the P lady. We haven't really been paying attention to the P lady lately, fellas. So before we keep going, let me just take a peek and see what you guys are up to and finish saying hello. And then maybe we'll go to the new sort of intro-esque thing that I'm working with. So hold on. It says, hello, humans. Mark says, he says, hey, Arch and the gang. Yep. TJ says, evening all. Brett's here early. I guess he took an early nap. Yo, he goes. 1:27 here in the UK. Barry, what's up, Barry? Uncle Marcus says it was 7:27 p.m. in Manitoba. I'm just going to read back over it. And then he says only 21.1 degrees Fahrenheit here. Wow. It's 44 and here, and it's been very, very windy today. And I'll get to some of that later on, but I'm tired. I got some neck pain because I pulled my shoulder out and then I pulled my neck out. I'll heal fine. I've been healing really good. I have been working really hard, not making money, but really hard trying to beat the cold and the rain, because I think it's about 3 months now. We had about a half inch, maybe an inch of rain in 3 months. So I'm like, and it's been warm. It's like 60 Fahrenheit, 50s, 60s, a couple of 70-degree days. I'm like, I got to get all this stuff done. And I'll show you a little bit too later on in the updates. And just pushing. Then I would take maybe like a morning off. In fact, I was talking to Brett the other day, just briefly. Brett got his heat going again, which is great, just in time. So I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff because I know that's it. We're in the winter now. So between yesterday and today, that's it. The nice weather's over. It's effing cold and windy. So we're going to get snow soon, fellas. It felt like it. It kind of looked like it the other day. Yeah, TJ, because you're the warm-up act. Brett says, good evening, Arch, from a warm house. I know. I was just saying. So Brett's been waiting. He bought that nice new pump, and he mentioned it today on Ken's. I didn't catch a lot of Ken's. I was actually, well, yet again, another, Archie do list. It's not for the honey. I was up in my bedroom cleaning it, and I wanted to get the AC unit out because it's been freezing up there, and get that window sealed up and clean the bedroom because it hasn't been touched all summer because I've been so busy. So that was like the last thing that I really needed to get done on this list for the past couple of months. And like yesterday, it was raining and lousy. I took half the day off. I was chatting a little bit with Brett, and I kind of rested, and I was in here, and it was warm. I was working on some videos. I was watching some YouTube. I was just sitting here, eating. I was in a little bit of pain. And I was like, You ever go through that? Like you drill down, you try to get a bunch of stuff done. And then you actually get that day. It's perfect. I didn't have to be outside. I was done. I couldn't do anything else. And I'm like sitting here with my feet up, just kicking back. I still did a couple of things a little bit later on today, but for the most part, I took the day off. And I even tried taking a nap, but it didn't really work out very well. I got a little bit of a nap. Hey, Bloodnose. He goes, Bloodnose. Yeah, see, Bloodnose comes with the P ladies. I don't think anybody, we have the P lady, over here. We have her. So nobody else can have that. Uncle says, I'm okay with 21.1 F. Soon we'll have negative 40. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. You guys get really cold up there. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Brett says, thanks for the chat the other day. Yeah, it was good. Oh, Maida's here. And Maida's been busy working on one of his garages. And check out Maida's channel. He's been working on... I've been catching some of them, Maida. I've been kind of breezing through them. Maida's fooling around with all of this stuff now. He's getting like deep into... like I don't want to say budget, because nothing in solar is budget. Used to be. There was a lot of stuff out there back in the day that was very, very budget. And you know how solar's getting so much better, all the controllers and everything. And I see you have it looked like it was a Siemens circuit breaker on a DIN rail. I didn't mention anything, but I used to sell that stuff. Like, I'm very familiar with all that. I used to build panels in steel boxes and NEMA rated exterior stainless steel enclosures that were exterior rated and sealed. And yeah, I used to put all those controllers together and stuff and design them and for HVAC, but it's really the same thing, doing it for solar power and, you know, providing power. So he's been fooling around with that. That's actually pretty cool. We'll have to take a look at that. Maybe we'll do that next week. And he goes, wait. He goes, the P lady is our trademark. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Remind me, Mater. We're gonna breeze through your channel if you don't mind. If you don't mind, let me know, and let us know if you don't mind it, because he's got some cool stuff out there, and he's got some of it on. He's been actually doing some more like shorter ones, which is nice because it's like you could just see the product and see kind of what he's doing and get some updates. I would love to do that. You know, in here it would be perfect. You know, for like the daily, as long as I'm not welding or running the air compressor, and get some more battery operated tools, because I have a lot of, you know, tools that run off the air compressor. But as I've been sort of upgrading and everything, for the general work, day to day, a lot of what I do, I could be running on solar, you know, and not have so much of that bill. Let's see, Maida says, he says, I have 14 of the 12 volt LED lights put up. Yeah, that's nice. And they're bright. You know how bright they are. By the way, I was looking into a little bit of dirty power. If any of you guys have ever heard of dirty power. It's, you know, the waveform of 60 cycles here in the United States, for those that are in the United States, because, you know, well, you got two people in two different countries right now. So, but here, the waveform, it's just a standard AC waveform. But if you look close at those waveforms on an oscilloscope, and you have things like fluorescent lights or even some of these other things in computers, you'll see this waveform will be all full of noise and horror. And Ken and I have been talking about it, and even he kind of mentioned it, and it does kind of go over a lot of people's heads, but it's actually quite disruptive to human beings. It's bad. Like he was telling me, a friend of his has a pacemaker, and they were like, you need to stay away from certain things because it's disruptive. It can disrupt the pacemaker. But beyond that, it can disrupt other devices, cause weird anomalies and issues. You can't figure out where they're coming from. I get these little flickers and stuff sometimes. I get shocks in the wintertime. Every time I go to touch one of my cameras on the stand, it shocks the camera, it shocks me, and the camera goes off and comes back on again. That can't be good. So I've been looking into that a little bit. I'm a big technology fan. I love technology, always have. But out here, I got all of this stuff. I got a wireless router there, another one in the house. I'm immersed in, you know, electricity. But when I go to bed at night, I don't even bring my phone. There's nothing in there. I'm like, I'm done. You know, everybody knows the blue light coming from these monitors, and even from the LEDs, there's a lot of blue light in it. So something to think about. Maybe I'll look into that a little bit more and talk about that later, another day. Let's see what Brett says. Check out how quiet this pump is after all the air was bled. What I showed you the other day was the first start before bleeding. Yeah, it was a little bit noisy, wasn't it? And you were saying how there was a lot of crap in the... Yeah, we've been getting some breaks and some upgrades up the block. This is one of the main trunk lines. Like, I live right off of some of the main trunk areas, right? And I think I told you guys, like, I ran out of water. Like, they kind of hit me up with it. There was a break at the end of last winter as things started to warm up, and I had no water. And I'm a diabetic. Like, you know, I was freaking out. My daughter actually bought water online and had somebody deliver it because that's how bad it was. Well, when they work on it, and even when they dump it out of the fire hydrant, literally right around the corner, all of that filth comes right in and fills up my 60-gallon tank, which is a domestic tank. And it fills up the heating system as well, which is separate. And I got to flush it all out. And that 1 week, it was like 2 weeks, they kept doing it. And it was just all day, just flushing water, and I couldn't drink any of it. So what a horror. So anyway, he says, okay, TGM says, Mater, I just subscribed. Very cool. Mark says, he goes, hey, Mater. And Mater says, dirty power is modified sine wave. Yep. I'll put in a pure sine wave inverter to power my laptop so I can stream out there. Exactly. Like I have the UPS over here, the uninterruptible power supply that's down here. And I put batteries in it last year, new batteries. And I wanted to talk about it. I never did. I think I might have shown it really fast on a live or something. But I actually wanted to show that. And if I do make sort of the Arch's Garage, tech channel, that'll definitely go on there. But it is something that can still go on my channel. I don't need a lot of people to watch it. But exactly, I've got another power conditioner I want to mount to my guitar amp because you hear all this noise, right? And it's just horrible. Plus, you can put a noise gate in. But to clean your power up, computers don't like noisy power. Audio equipment, noisy power, horror, right? There's all kinds of reasons for it. Let's see. I just sent it. You can show it before and after. Yeah. Let's see. I turned the notifications off. The loud ones. And I don't know how to turn it back on again. Hold on. It takes me a minute. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get the first one. Well, I can put it to the mic, but you won't see it. It's gurgling. I'll show you in a minute, but let's see the second one. Hold on. I'll show it to you in a minute. Yeah, the second one's even brighter. What a difference. Now, let me blow it up. Can I? Yeah, I can blow it up. Hold on. Let it focus. It doesn't want to focus on that. Let's see. Will it focus on this one? Here we go. You can kind of see it. There we go. That's a nice pump. Let me kill that one. Yeah, big difference. Big difference. Oh, Brock is here. Hold on, let me catch up. Let's see. Dirty Power Modified Sine Wave. TGM Forum. Thank you. Uncle Mark's DIY. Hello. Brett. You can show no after. Man, this is hello. Hey, Mater. Oh, hello, everyone. Hey, Lewis. Why do we call him Lewis? We just call him Brock. We have to call him Lewis, though, because that's like his handle. Hey, Francis. Mater says hello. Brett goes, hi, brother Brock. He goes, hello, Brett Mater. Yeah, Brett says it's a hydronic system, American standard boiler with Bell and Gossett pump. The Bell and Gossett's a nice. TGM says, hey, Brett. Hey, Lewis. Hello, TGMF. Nice. So, yeah, all right. So let's go real quick to take a break. Quick break. Let me turn this off. We'll come back to that in a minute. Turn off the transition to that. And let's just take a little listen to Arch fooling around with a possible new pre-intro, right? Like the pre-intro, the pre-show. Let's see if I can get this right. Here we go. I even put a timer on it. Nice. So I figured I would assault you guys visually and auditorily. Is that the correct word? I just get a kick out of it. Wow, 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 wow. Just, you gotta love it. It's something to try out, right? If you don't like it, if people don't like it, it's going to be at the beginning of the show. It's got the countdown timer, so it's counting down. It's pre-prologue, pre-prologue, right? So I think let's get to. I see Tom, I think, is here. And, yep. Hey, Tom. Everybody's saying, hey. Let's take a look at Mr. Tecumseh, right, real quick. Let me bring him up, and we can chalk off those two items off the list. And at least early in the show, while, people are still here. Let me bring him up, bring him over on the other monitor. And, hold on, let me get my headset back on again. Now, one of them, you're not really going to hear anything. We'll do, I don't know which one is my favorite, honestly. But we'll do this one first. I mentioned it to him, and he said he was going to try to stop by last week, but I'll get to that in a bit. I couldn't do last week. So, I don't know. I didn't mention anything to him for this week, but, yeah. But, he'll see it at some point. Now, like I said, the links are in the description, but, we'll just roll through these real quick. One of them's not that long, so I'm just going to let this one play out. But you guys know how much I like to sort of fool around. This is his homepage. And like I said, link in the description. He's got some really cool stuff in there. This one's pretty short. Let's cue this one up.
My daughter's 4 years old. She's still watching Disney
we
movies,
get a commercial,
and she is
too, for him.
choosing a white princess over princesses of color.
Have you talked to her about that?
That's a long commercial.
I just want to do a quick recap video on this machine I just finished, because I'm not making full feature videos right now.
Beautiful.
And for those who asked, it's because I don't have time to do it right now. Dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
Garage that I want clear by the winter so I can work in there.
Yeah, I hear you.
But anyway, so this machine, it's a 2004 Craftsman LT1000, and
look how clean it is.
It originally had a 17.5 horsepower engine, which is the same as 17. The one that's on here is a 17.
Yeah,
Great.
That's the infamous motor, though. I don't like that motor, but,
not tech. According to this model number.
It's not terrible, but, the cams blow, the head gaskets blow.
What I can tell.
It will destroy itself if you
right
catch
there,
it. Oh!
That one mount was cracked.
How?
But, they put a nut on the top, and it's secure, so I'm not
All right, yeah, it
about
won't go nowhere.
Now
They're
I'm
not my
looking
favorites.
now. Better make sure this one's secure too.
But the rest of the
engine
machine is
doesn't
so
move,
clean.
And it works properly. But I'll take care of that and look at that and make sure it's good before I sell it. So anyway,
if it wasn't for that
gasket,
yep,
and there was a mouse nest inside the inside the shroud I had to clean out. I put new fuel line on. Had a shut off. Other than that, engine's good. I did the head gasket, so let me pause this a second.
Yeah, I got one outside to do, just like this.
And it had a blown head gasket, so I had to replace the head gasket. And it had the common symptoms: white smoke blowing out of it, smoke coming out of the dipstick.
I'm surprised it ran.
Running, it was making that puh sound. So I took care of that while I had the head off. I was able to see the cylinder. The cylinder still looked like it was brand new.
Yeah.
Cross hatches were clear as day, like the thing was still new. So this engine's very healthy.
I mean, it's cleaner than a lot of the ones that I make, and I make them really clean.
I'm sure I'll just continue to say that because that's the truth.
Yeah,
but,
it is true.
Being as though it was an overhead valve, it did have a blown head gasket. So, swap that.
All right, let's see. Let's see if we get to the...
Slime up the back tires.
Oh, here we go.
Tires. I had to slime up the back out, so I put another one I had in there. That one's better.
That's nice.
Works. Tires. I had to slime up the back tires. They were flat. They weren't holding air.
That's got the
So they're
42-inch
fine now.
deck.
Some people said they don't have very much luck with slime. I do, but the problem is you have to put about double what they recommend.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure you spin the
Yep.
wheels.
And drive it
a
around
decent
for a
amount
while.
to get that stuff to evenly distribute to work properly. Some people say ATF works good. I haven't really tried it. This seat came from another machine. It had one of those newer
You could
crummy
damage the
looking seats.
tires.
It had some cracks, so I just threw this seat on. Good to go.
Good call.
What else? Washed it real well. Touched up the black trim a little bit. White ram. I'm leaving the rims
Look how
white.
nice it looks. All right, now before we get to
And then
the other
deck.
one, let me come back. Let me just cue up the other one that I want to show you. Of course, you can check out. I think it's this one. Yeah, he just put out another one too, but this is the one that I want to show you next. I'll cue it up.
Oh,
But then I'm coming back.
is this
real
an early
fast.
present?
You know I don't like to wait.
Yeah, this one. I'm going to scroll through this one because it's a long one. Hold on. I'm coming back. Stand by. Stand by. So fantastic job. And when you see this one, they all come out like this for the most part. I mean, that's what he does. But, this next one is older. I think it's older. It's a little beefier. It's a bigger machine. I have that green one out in the yard, and I got it. I was hoping to get to it this year. So now it's going to be 2 years sitting. It could easily be that nice. I don't remember exactly what deck. Everything was there. One of my daughter's friends was trying to work on it with somebody else, and he couldn't get it running, and it was just spinning over. So I'm thinking blown head gasket and/or stuck valve, and the other thing that happens with those motors, as you guys know, is that a lot of times the cam dies, right? You lose your ACR. So I anticipate all of those things, but it could easily be as mint as that one. Holds air, tires hold air. It's not abused. He told me where it came from. I don't remember. He actually delivered it for $100 with the deck. I don't know if it's the 42-inch deck, but I'm not a big fan of those motors. However, that's what's out there. I actually have at least two I know of because I was out in the yard cleaning up. I did a huge yard cleanup. Basically loaded the front of the house in the street with leaves and brush and garbage. So I know I got two of those motors laying over there, and I've mentioned this before. I want to make like a run-in stand. Because between those two motors, and I've got more machines out there, and I've also have a couple of the motor that you're going to see. And I want to try to scroll through, so bear with me. There's a point where he's got it running and it's idling, and he says it's a little dirty. Maybe the carburetor's a little bit dirty. I hope you can hear it, because to me it sounds nice. Let's get to that. And let me just catch up with you guys real quick. Let's see, everybody's saying nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Gremlin in an hour. Photo booth. Moments Adobe. Just watching your Husqvarna all-wheel drive repair video. Yeah, I'd like to check that one out. Definitely. Gremlin at one photo booth. Eureka. Nice. Time went fast. You had my attention. Nice. Looks cool, Arch. Love the music too. Cool. My kind of tune, Arch. I know that one. It's basically when the levee breaks. It's just that's just a non-copyrighted version, Listen, I love music. You guys know. Eventually, you'll hear this thing over there at some point when I can get to it. It'll be more blues oriented, but it's really hard to find blues, free blues. That's any good. So I do want more blues and even some country, style rock and blues. But that's getting a little hard to find for free. That's not copyrighted. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just at some point make a little pieces for things in my segues and my bumpers, on my own. But I'm trying to get to that. But there's also that, hard side that I have. It's just growing up when we did, you had your pick of whatever the hell music you wanted. And boy, I picked it all. So nice and clean. You can eat off of it. Yep. Tom says, looks brand new. Brett says, Lewis says, that one I have head troubles too. I know, Brock. It's like I was saying, No trouble with selling it. No, and that's the thing. I've had great luck with slime. Yeah, the slime, and he's right. If you all of them, if you use like twice the amount, you got to spin them around, and if you can, drive it around for a little while. Maybe reapply a little bit more. It takes a little bit of time, but I've had very good luck. Wait till you see when I do. And Ken was telling me, he's like, I can't wait to see the rim job. I can't wait to see the rim job, Art. The rim job I did on the Sunstar with the new tires, the new shoes, and that's good. That'll be here. It's soon. I just finished that long video that I put up about the Sunstar and the PTO wiring. And there's not going to be a lot of people that watch that, but it belongs in the folder. It's also a record for me and for Big Mike. Hey, Big Mike, what do you see? Oh, wait. He's showing me. Hold on. Let me take this off. He's like, is this the right size engine? I'm like, no, it turned out it's too small, but let's see if you could see it. I'm like, well, maybe you still want it, Mike. It's, how much is it? He's like, $50. I'm like, all right, hold on. I need a better way of doing this. That's coming. We'll find a better way. Can I turn it? Nope, can't turn it. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. And if it doesn't come out good, I think the other camera works better. Hold on. Gotta get it out of the way of the lights. Let it focus. That's it. Try to keep it. Isn't that cool? It's just an old 10 horsepower generator. It doesn't run. That's not a problem. That's not a problem for me. Doesn't run. I'm like, well, maybe we want it anyway. I'm like, tell the guy. He's like, I'll talk to the guy. I'm like, tell the guy, we'll put it on YouTube. It'll be famous. Tens of people will see it. Maybe even tens of tens will see it. It'll be famous. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's too small for, well, we're going to be working on the Simplicity, not the Sunstar. We already finished that one. We're going to be working on the Sovereign. Simplicity Sovereign. So, we'll get to that. All right, let me get back to Mr. Tecumseh. And like I said, I'm going to scroll through it. Hold on. Let me see. It says, I watched it, Arch. Yeah, nice. Said it takes 2 men and a boy just to pick it up. Yeah. All right, let's get to this thing, because this thing's nice. All right, here we go. So you should be able to hear it and everything. Like I said, it's long, so it's like 36, almost 40 minutes, like 40 minutes. Yeah. So if you really want to watch the whole thing, go to his channel, of course.
Before I made
But look at that.
Run video of it for sale. This is a 1995 Craftsman LT 4000. Same year as the one I have, except this is the bigger engine version. So it's almost the same as mine, but there are differences that I want to go over.
Yeah, so he'll take you through that, but let's go.
Back.
Oh, commercial.
Hi,
Hold on.
I'm BJ. I work at Grip 6. Here are 5 reasons why people love our belts. Number 1.
See,
that's a cool belt, by the way.
Lower. The center shift is not right here. It's off to the side, which is actually, I think, a better place in general for it. I think they did make Hydro versions of these, although there weren't, at that time, Hydros weren't as popular. So
no, but that's still a good version.
Had a Hydro LT 4000.
Durable.
I do believe they exist.
Oh, let's go under the hood, fellas. Hold on.
Other than that, it's the same. It's the same machine. It's just a bigger version. And it's a 6-speed. Mine's a 5-speed. Mine's a 5-speed 38. This is a 6-speed 42.
See the motor? Look how clean it looks. This is my favorite.
Twin cylinder engine.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Look how clean it is.
42 cubic inch, which comes out to about 656 cc, whereas mine's a 12 horse flathead single cylinder, and that's 465 cc.
Let's see. Does he start it?
It's my 12 horse. Individual pieces.
Yeah, I like the individual.
This is part of the, basically part of the frame.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I don't like the unibody style. It's not terrible, but I like this frame style.
The ones built early on all had the shifter up in the center.
Yeah, I didn't like those.
So, but being up
This
higher
one's better.
with a high back seat, it's definitely better having it here.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen even mine.
And it goes nice. Look at it, it shifts smooth.
I wish mine had it here.
Yeah, I like that.
I've opened and closed properly.
Oh, he's talking about the engine.
Pop out. This engine withstood that.
So it had crap in it.
Having them stamp Sears later on, you wouldn't
Oh,
see that.
nice. I didn't catch that. So those are the Sears stampings.
They spent sloppy in getting ready to take this deck out. I was able to repair it. That was bent down. So I had to
I see painted underneath.
The blades on it were brand new. They're brand new blades. Brand new Gator blades.
Oh, wow.
Blades. But they were upside down, both of them.
No, nice.
This I had to bang out, put a little JB Weld, clean it up. There was one other spot on that side where the mandrel had came loose.
Let's see. I want to get to the motor, though.
The blade hit it. In case I could do that if I... Rod-driven 42 I had. It's different, obviously.
Somewhere in here, he's got the motor
black
going.
Trim. Good solid machines.
Yeah, totally.
They're brands. So...
Let's see, where is it? You're coming to it. Hold on. There we go. Here we go. Let me back it up. Hold on.
Engine sounds great.
Yeah, it's Ken. He says, does he? I think so, yeah. I don't want to interrupt this, so we shut up. Listen to that!
You don't get any vibration sounds with these because they're well balanced. This thing had a full tank of gas. It may not be the freshest, so it might not be running as smooth as it can.
Right, that's what he said.
Probably run a little bit smoother. But,
I think he goes back in for another listen.
Out of it with fresh, I'm sure it'll get even smoother. But it does have an adjustment, air fuel adjustment.
Yeah, listen.
Right here.
Oh. Yeah, made in USA.
I'm gonna kick on the deck real quick. You're gonna hear if it squeals. So if it squeals.
It didn't. It really didn't squeal.
Reverse.
All right.
Spark plugs. Those spark plugs.
It's in great shape.
Oh, and then,
let me come back and certainly go check out his channel. But I wanted to just kind of put that out there. I thought he did a really good job. He does generally, a really good job. Anyway, but just the the whole idea. So Ken hit me up. What's Ken saying? Hold on. Let me see. What's Ken saying here? Ken says, let's see, does he paint these tractors or just buff them out? I'm not really sure. I think he does probably a lot of like what I do. Hold on, error. We have a problem. Open the widget. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Hold on, give it a minute. It will stop. There it goes. It's back. So I'm not sure. He does a number of things because like I often will put clear, automotive style clear on top. You can kind of buff them out. He does paint because the deck is painted. And then Ken says, I need silver Craftsman paint for a tractor hood. Yeah. That I've been looking for that. And there's a bit of an issue with that. I have some stuff. It's not handy, but I've been looking into that, and I want to kind of, because I like to do not only the old silver tractors, but some of the old silver gray mowers as well. I have a collection of those decks back there, and you guys know I like to touch them up, and I happen to like that color as well. And I'm trying to solve that problem. Now, I solved the problem of the green. Hopefully, I can still get that paint, but I did buy it. And it's a great match. It's a little pricey, but I use very little of it. But it's nice to have. So that is the thing that I'm also looking to deal with. He does a really good job. You know, check out his channel and see what he does. He doesn't, like he says, he doesn't show a lot because he's been very busy and trying to get this garage cleaned out and set up for the winter time and all of that. But I think he just does a terrific job. Well, anybody that, you know, I just, all you fellas do great work. But occasionally I like to, as you know, I like to put somebody up on the channel just for a little bit and give them a shout out. And it's just fun to share a little bit and see what other people are doing. And of course, I like to put the stuff that I like, okay, you know, because it's my show. So I like tractors. I don't get to do enough of them. And I have that green one outside. I don't have any silver ones, but I have several of those engines. And I was dying when I'm like, oh, I gotta get at least one of them running. And I gotta get at least one of the tractors going. And I'm not sure what body. I was peeking at them while I was out there doing the cleanup and stuff. And I'm still not sure. Hopefully I can get to that next year. Let me just catch up. This is, let's see. You guys are going through it. Looks nice and clean. I have one with head troubles too. I've had great luck with slime. TGM says Intech engines are rubbish. Yeah, they kind of, I wouldn't say rubbish, but they have all those issues, you know. And when they're older, then you know, where's the price point? Like I was kind of chatting with Ken about this one day. And I'm like, the problem with them is when you have one of those engines and you have the tractor. Tractors, as we know, they require more work. So you're in longer. Tommy knows. So you're in longer. You're not getting them off your bench like right away. You got to go in there and deal with them. With those motors, now you got to go in the motor. You got to go in the motor because usually stuck valve or dropped valve seat or dropped valve guide because mice and dirt and crap, it overheats. You got head work to do, usually the gasket. You know, when you go through all of that, is the money there? The time is going to be there. You're going to be putting time into it. And I said to him, where is the price point? Like, can you make any money? I mean, you'll make some money, but it's a lot of time. So finding the right victim, finding the right setup, like the one that I have is going to need engine work. The rest of it doesn't need anything. I mean, it's probably going to need a belt, but those belts are cheap. It may or may not need, I think it needs blades, but I don't think it needs any spindle work or anything. Overall, it's in nice shape. It's the motor. And that's the killer, you know. Let's see, I like the 4000s. I know, they're just nice. Opposed twin. Yeah, I got to get mine going. He goes, Mitch says, how's it going? Sounds great. Love the sound of those opposed twins. They just sound so nice. This is Arch. Do we have a link to this channel? Yes, as I said earlier, the link is down in the description for Mr. Tecumseh's channel. So you might have missed that, but I'll say it again, right? Check out his channel. The link is down there in the description. Made says, Arch, and he says, you can show my solar power stuff. Cool. I'll go through it, kind of queue it up for next week. Now, let's get to next week. Hold on. Let me bring up, I have some good news. So let's see, testing new chat window. We're going to get to that in a minute. The internet. So if you guys know, and Johnny often says there's one thing that will always be, and that will be Arch's having internet problems. As you just saw, you may have seen it, but I got the notification. So this week, I think it was this past week, I called up, I'm with Optimum Online, right? That's Cablevision. I forget who the parent company is. And I've been telling you guys about my internet woes, right? So right now I have about 100 down and about 4 up megabits. So I noticed they've been running some sales, Black Friday, holiday sales. And I spoke with a woman there a couple of weeks back, about a month ago, and she said, I can get 20 up and about the same down for another 20 a month. We recently just called them a month or so ago, and we got a lot of money knocked off of it because we've been with them for so long. Meanwhile, Verizon's in town with fiber, and Optimum has fiber, and they're running a deal for $40 to upgrade to fiber for a year. So I called them up, I gave them the story, nice lady named Dana, and I gave her the tale of woe. And she says, well, how much did the last representative say? I said, $20, another $20 on top of what I'm already paying, but for 20 up and about 100, a little over 100 down. She goes, let me see. I said, by the way, I noticed that you guys are running some specials on fiber. You need more fiber. You need more fiber, fellas. She goes, oh, okay. I said, it looks like a good deal. I said, well, what can you do? She goes, let me see. So she's fooling around. She goes, I think I can do better than even the 20. I said, really? You've got my attention. So she came up with a deal. $13.99, $14 extra a month from what I'm paying right now. And that's already with the other discounts for a year for fiber, 1 gig down. We got 1 gig. It's 1 gig down, 1 gig up. So I got 100 megabytes right now down and 4.5 megabytes up. This is a gig down and a gig up. They're coming Tuesday to put a new box. I guess they have to pull the fiber from the pole into the house. So I'll be hanging around this coming Tuesday, actually. I'll be hanging around somewhere between 11 and 2. And for $14 a month plus tax, that's nice. I'm like excited. Like hopefully everything goes well. And I said, well, what's going to happen at the end of the year? Are you going to like jack up the price like really high? She goes, no, they shouldn't do that. It might go up a little bit, but it won't be something. And she says, and anyway, if you don't like it or if something you don't like or the price or whatever, we have other packages and you could just renegotiate. But okay. So that's just awesome because last week I wanted to do a show and I had everything ready. The night before, around about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I uploaded that video that I just released last week on the Sunstar with the PTO wiring. And that's like a 40-minute video and it's in 4K. It took over 24 effing hours sitting here with the computer connected on all the way through the night into the next day, and then it stopped about a little after 10. I looked at the clock and I happened to see it was synchronicity. It's 10:10. So before 10:30 at night, it finally finished. I wasn't going to disrupt it because, after 20-something hours, I'm not disconnecting that so I can do a live show. But like 8:30 rolled around and Ken was asking me, you going to do a live show? I'm like, I don't think so. I actually tried to I did a test live while that was uploading. It failed. Like there just wasn't enough bandwidth to do it. So I'm like, I'm not touching it. I don't want to touch anything because the last thing I need to have happen is for it to like fail at the last half hour or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then I got to do all over again. So with a 1 gig up, it should take like 20 minutes. It used to take about maybe an hour for something like that. And what I would do is I would watch it and see if I like it with the compression, because even though it's 4K and there's audio compression, there's visual compression, there's other things. And also for me, it's like if you put a different hat on, and I used to talk about this in some of the jobs that I did. When you do jobs like my previous job, I would be head broom, toilet cleaner, floor sweeper, inventory and stock guy, head technician, low end technician, designer, engineer, diagnostic troubleshooter. And so I would have to charge different rates because you'd have to literally put different hats on. And I would say to the fellow that, my partner later on, I'd say to him, like, when you give me a design you are not sure of and you want me to wire this and set all this stuff up, I will look at it. I will use my skills while I'm wiring it. I said, but don't expect me to troubleshoot it because that's a different hat. And when I go to troubleshoot, if it's not working right, that's a different hat. And I expect to be paid for that a lot higher, right, than whatever else when I'm stocking inventory or whatever. So in that concept, when I'm doing a video and I'm recording it, I got one hat on. I'm trying to narrate. I'm trying to be the mechanic. I'm trying to be the guy with the camera. That's a different skill set. Those are all different skill sets, and I'm trying to combine them. Then I upload them and I sit down, and now I lay them out on my timeline. Now I got to be Mr. Editor. It's all that other stuff is done, so I don't have to be the mechanic. Now I'm going to sit and edit. So you get so focused on editing that you may think that's a great shot, or you might think that that's cool, we could leave it in. But then when you sit back and you turn off all those other hats and take them off and just turn your brain off for a minute and take a breath, maybe come back a week later or a day later or hours later and watch it, try to be like the person watching it and watch it and think about it. Like, is that running too long? Oh, I said that already. Get rid of that. I could say that better. I don't need that. Cut that out. They don't need to know that. Cut that out. And then even when I would upload it, if something wasn't right or whatever, and if it uploaded quick, I wasn't in a rush, don't be in a rush to publish it. I'd go back and I'd look at it through one of the monitors. I'm like, how does that sound? Does it sound okay? How's that look? Looks a little weird. It's run a little bit too long. And over the years now, I've learned to kind of notch back a little bit. I'm still learning. That last video was long, but it had to be long. It belongs in the folder with the Sunstar. It's not going to be a big win for me or for him or for Archer's Garage, but I think it belongs with the Sunstar. So I put it out, and hopefully it will help somebody. So that one I did cut a lot out. There's a lot of footage that goes into making that previous video that I just did. That's so many hours of footage, even narrowing it down to 40 minutes. It's mind-numbing. I don't actually like doing too many of those videos because it's mind-numbing. And you'll lose yourself in it after a while. You just get fried and burned out. All right, so we got that out of the way. So we got Tecumseh. We got the internet thing, so that should be pretty cool. Let me turn this off, and we want to try out the text window next. And let me see what you guys are doing. Let me see. That sounds great. Love the sound of opposed twins. Those opposed twins. Arch, do you have a link? Yep. Arch, you can show my channel. That's awesome. TGM Vanguard's twin is my favorite. Yep. Crazy deal, Arch. Yeah, it's a great deal. I can't wait. Now, let me see if I can get this other part right. Let me put that hat on now. Now I got to do live show hat. So what did I do? So I'm going to pop out. Let's bring you over to here. I'm going to pop out the chat. Bring the chat here. All right, chat's over there. Let's see if I can get this right. Now, I'll streamline all of this another time, but you kind of get the idea when I get to it. All right, here's main monitor. Now, let's see. Does main monitor come up this way, or does it go the other way? Hold on. It's because there's a couple of them. I don't know if I got it right. Let's see, split. Yeah, let's try this. Okay, well, let's kind of tweak it. Let me see if it comes up over here. It gets pretty big. I think I can actually bring it. Yeah, you're starting to see it. Now, you guys got to tell me what it looks like. Yeah, now let me know, what does that look like? Can you read any of it? Because I can't really see it. Now, I'm actually going to go to my channel, and I'm going to go to my live stream, because I didn't have the ability to do this when I was fooling around. I'm going to go to my live stream, because I didn't have the ability to shut this off. All right, let's see. Yeah, the text looks a little bit weird. It definitely does. But it's close. Let me see if you guys can read it. See what you guys say about it. Let's see. Meow. This is meow. I can stretch it the other way. He says, I can't teach him, says I can't read it. But eyesight isn't. Well, yeah. Let's see. Let me come back to split chat. And I know I can tweak it. How would I do that again? that's that. Split screen chat. Now let's unlock it. Let's unlock this. I want to see if it can just kind of pull over this way. Welcome to my world, TGM. Yeah, yep. See, that way, you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Yeah, I'm not sure how it gets, like how I can tweak it. Let me send that over, that transition over. And I want to wait for my feed to catch up. Because I'm looking at my feed, since I can't really see what's going on. I think that looks better. Oh yeah, wait, hold on, fellas. What do you think of that? I'm looking at my feed, and that looks a lot better. Yeah, that might work. And don't forget, if you actually want to read it later on, you can, on a phone or whatever, you can zoom in. Let's see, teaching eyesight isn't good. Welcome to my world. TGN says, Brett, I have cataract operation in 2 weeks. Oh, that's good. That's excellent. So now I can kind of just leave it up and I can read stuff and I can do other things. And I don't know if I can bring up this window at the same time. So let me try this out. Yeah, it's hard being physically challenged in one way or another, It's definitely not easy. Now I can bring you guys, hold on, I'm going to move this to here, to here. I want to move this and see if that kind of works. Can I move that over to there? Just going to play around for a minute. Let's see, come back to here. And what else do I want? I want to see the live stream. So I'm going to put you there. There's my live stream. All right, good. And when I go to full monitor, I see it fine right now. Let me come back to full monitor. Yeah, I like that. I think that will work. So in the future, this way, when somebody comes back later on to my recorded live show, they can kind of see what's going on in the chat, and I'll kind of fool around with it as I go. Let me lock that too. Let me lock that window for now. Hold on. Now that window is locked. Retransition it. And I also want to see, can I bring up the overlay as well? Yes, but you won't see the overlay. All right. That's pretty cool. It says he only has limited vision in the left eye, just light perception in the right. That's the reason for my right eye is white. Yeah, yep. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks like that. I told you guys, I'm nowhere near as, Robert has some issues too, I believe. Robert M. But, when I got back out of the hospital, especially the second time, I couldn't see crap. In fact, I actually need to go and get, 2 new glasses, at least one, but it's changed a little bit over the years, for sure. But I couldn't see anything. I was doing everything by feel. I started my YouTube channel like that. I couldn't see. That's what happened. The diabetes almost killed me twice. It will F you up. I'm actually trying out some new insulin, and I'm having pretty good luck with it. We'll take a pee break, and I want to go check on myself, make sure I want to see where my blood sugar is. It felt like it was going down a little bit. I'm trying to figure out ways of reducing the insulin that I use. And it looks like I'm able to do that to some degree, actually reduce the amount of insulin I need. Because sugar is dangerous, but so is insulin. Insulin will make you fat. It will cause all kinds of problems, especially as you're older. When you get to around our age, it's not the sugar. It's not the sugar that makes you fat. It's actually the insulin, because it's such a strong hormone, which is why they tell you to get off of the carbs and all the sugars and all the garbage and all these foods. It's not just because you're elevating your sugar levels. It's because when your sugar levels elevate, your insulin levels have to elevate. And that's the bad, combination that'll wreck you in short order. So let's see when we're going to. Okay, I think it's Lewis out here. A wonderful night. Great show. Good night. I'll see you later there, Brock. Right? I don't know if he's doing something tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, I kind of like this. This is nice. So now I can toggle back and forth. And let's say I want to go back to this. I just simply come back over here, and you guys might be able to see it. So I'm all the way over here. This is the big chat window, right, that you guys are only seeing a piece of, because I'm taking a feed from this monitor and I'm mixing it with that camera, right? So I'm mixing the two together, and that's the other monitor that there's nothing on right now. A lot of times I just use it as a display, or what we call a confidence monitor. I could program it to do different things. So you could see it. So over here is my OBS studio, and that's what's doing a lot of the work. That's why I don't use StreamYard, because you can't do anything. And StreamYard gets in the way. So when I start doing, it won't be StreamYard. It'll be that program that Ken's going to go to next month. I'm going to fool around with that. And I do want to bring people up. So I'll create different types of shows for different reasons. But I'm almost positive that once I do that, there'll be a lot of limitations. I won't be able to do a lot of things like I just did tonight. It's not going to happen. Yeah, the Restream, yes, thank you. But I don't know, we'll see. Maybe Restream is so much better. Now, some of you guys have given me some tips. And so like over here, that's this box over here. This is where the cameras go in and the audio goes in. And I got some cables. There's one here. And I'll be fooling around with it because I was telling you that I have some issues with the audio. And you're like, you guys, you need a mixing board. Well, there is actually a mixing board in here. In fact, you can see it here. I'll come back to my live stream setup. I bring up. You can actually make shortcuts and stuff that you can just press keys. All right, so I just switched. I was also switching through this ATEM, and the mixer is over here. Let's see. So this is both a visual mixer, and this is how I modify a lot of the audio. And two of these inputs on the right, one of them you see is lit. The master is over to the far right. The other one is not being used currently. And those two can be used to bring in audio from another source, like another computer or a notebook or a laptop or whatever, or a cassette deck, a CD player, my system itself, a microphone from a guitar amp. I mean, there's only two, but then all the other cameras have audio as well. So there's ways of dealing with that. And it's just a nice little, kind of a neat feature, right? This is my overlay. And you can have all different pictures and media. And then back to the switcher. And this brings up overlay, which you may not see it. And then to come back, I just turn that off. And I come back to my ATEM cameras. And then I can use this switcher here, all right, to do fades, to adjust audio, to switch cameras, to switch inputs as well. So there's a lot of resources. It's just learning how to set them all up and experimenting with it. And remember, I've only been doing this like a year or whatever. And I don't spend a lot of time fooling around with it either. I don't have the time to do that. But it's fun. It's kind of neat. That's the geek in me, right? Let me see. Where are we? Let me come back to here and look at my show. It's an hour and 17 minutes. Let's go take a pee break real quick, and we'll come back and we'll finish up the show because we got about another 30 minutes or so. We gotta say hi to the pee lady, fellas, before it gets too late. Take a quick break, chore break, whatever. Let's bring up the lady of the evening. We gotta bring up the lady of the evening. which we're going to check out next. So while we're here, right, let's go to the next thing. Now, let me bring up my overlay. So we're going to get to battery, but before that and updates, let's go to toxic feminism, because I always hear for the past 4 or 5 years or 10 years, I don't know how long it's been. It's like it numbs my brain. I'm hearing people talk about, and even some of my friends talking about, they just bring this up, this toxic masculinity, as if there's no such thing as toxic femininity. Let's roll the toxic femininity reel right now. Stand by. Here we go.
Okay. Another way that liberals are coping with the Trump election is
She's
not
a
just
hottie.
shaving their heads or going on a sex strike, but also they're planning to seduce conservative men in order to break up their marriages. So the way they're thinking is that if I can get a man to be so addicted to this body, then I
sign
can
me up.
make him vote the way I want to, because his MAGA wife was not able to because I have the sexual power.
Oh, you
That's
do?
what they're thinking. Watch this chick explain it.
If you're a conservative woman, here's how I'm gonna fix your life, okay? So you just got married to your husband. Your husband is blatant, just redneck garbage. You like him though for some
Hey,
reason.
watch it,
something
lady.
there is clicking. I'm gonna seduce your husband.
Like hell you are.
I'm going to look him in the eye.
Oh, stop it.
And I'm gonna explain to him that nobody has ever made me feel the way he has. And I'm younger than you conservative woman that married him. And I'm gonna start like explaining that I'm just so fun and I like doing fun. Because you're probably married and you can't do fun. And then once I do that and I implement your f***ing marriage arc, he's gonna cause some irrational feelings, which is going to establish itself in your marriage problems. And then you're gonna be like, why am I doing this for a man? This is where we get ya, because then you're like, why am I supporting a guy that isn't doing anything for me? There you go.
Great.
Ooh, okay.
Watch out for her.
Yeah.
To the pit of misery.
Number one, if you think youth is your main currency, you're going to be really disappointed when you hit your 30s and 40s. So maybe you should read some books or invest in yourself in another way. Also, I thought this was the party of feminism. I thought we were so worried about women's rights and women's bodies but now we want them to be heartbroken and alone. We literally want to destroy other women. That is not the party of joy and women's rights. I don't think you like women at all, actually, if you're willing to do that.
Dilly.
Here's another woman saying she broke up with her husband because of how he voted. Now she somehow is going to get back with him by sleeping with all his friends.
Not sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way. I think sleeping with his friends will do. What do you guys think? His liberal friends, of course.
To the pit of misery for you.
Are you really that selfish? First of all, you don't respect yourself because that's only going to hurt you. Also, do those guys have relationships that you don't care about? You're so immature that you want to hurt the ladies?
Yeah, because she's I'm just going to go after the liberal friends.
Right.
Okay.
Are they all single? Or do you just not care? Like, I'm just going to go sleep with those friends. If their wives or girlfriends get hurt, so be it, because it's about my revenge for his vote. But I can't look ugly. I have to be constantly making him so sad that he's missing. I mean, they really think she thinks she is Barbie. Right?
Oh,
that
yeah.
he's
That's so
really
bizarre.
hurting. Okay. It's not just marriages, though, that liberals want to break up. It's families, too. Here are liberals saying you don't even have to be around your family this Thanksgiving, because if you don't like how they voted, then that's a violence on yourself. You don't have to go.
When you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up. So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine.
That's a Yale psychiatrist.
And to tell them why.
It's pathetic.
Please follow Brad to the pit of misery.
Okay, I've been racking my brain to think about, did Trump supporters punish their relatives when Trump lost in 2020? Did they have temper tantrums like this? Did they cancel accounts? Send me stuff because I either don't recall or I did not observe it. I really want to know why this temper tantrum reaction is so prevalent. Again, back to the sex strike. Now, Whoopi Goldberg announced that she's joining in this sex strike.
Huh?
She's pretty excited about withholding her menopausal sexuality. Watch.
I dare. Yeah, you didn't get here by yourself, man. You can't do this without us.
Oh, stop it!
And if we don't let you, you don't get any. It's that simple.
To the pit of misery for you.
Okay, wow. I'm not being ageist. I'm pretty sure she's past menopause, but still wielding her sexuality as a weapon, weaponizing your
Eric in our chat says, I think I just barfed.
Okay. Yeah. And remember these celebrities who said they'd leave the country if Trump was reelected? Well, they're sort of changing that to I'm not going to leave the country, but I'm going to leave X. At least Joy Reid has done it. She left today 1.9 million followers and she just canceled her account. Jamie Lee Curtis, she did the exact same thing.
Dilly.
Account deactivated.
Yeah,
she
no
says,
great loss there.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change. But most of them are still here in the United States. They're just not on X because they hate Elon Musk for allowing free speech. Actress Eva Longoria, she left the country. She told Marie Claire, but not because of Trump. She left actually before the election. She said because the United States is so dystopic under the Biden-Harris administration. She said, whether it's the homelessness or the taxes, not that I want to shit on California, it's just this chapter in my life feels like it's done. So she's acknowledging that California is dystopic, but she's still stumped for Kamala Harris. So she felt like California is too messed up for her family, but she wanted the whole country to be like California. But the rest of celebrities, they're really dragging their feet on leaving. Here's one of my favorite TikTokers, Seavest Garden. She says they're just not leaving fast enough, and she feels like her vote for Trump did not count. Watch.
You know what? I'm getting pissed off. It's been 72 hours since Trump been elected, and we are not getting what we voted for. We're not. And I'm pissed about it. I'm pissed because I could have sworn that these celebrities and these women on The View and all these places said that if we voted Trump in, that they was going to leave the country. And now I saw that the View, they're showing up in black dresses just to mourn the president election, Trump being elected. That is not what y'all promised us. Y'all said that if we voted for Trump, that they will leave the country, and y'all ain't boarded a plane yet. And I'm getting frustrated. Trump, you got to do something about this, because I thought our vote was going to count. We did vote for that. That's what they not understanding. We voted for y'all to leave the country. And I thought that I would be seeing airlines being, filled up. Tickets would be hard to get because all the celebrities, all of Hollywood, all of these politicians, these journalists that said that if you get elected, that they was going to board the plane and leave. I can't no more. Our vote ain't counting already, y'all. I guess maybe I'll give them another week, but time is ticking. Get on the plane. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go on then. Go.
Well, here's my favorite post, my favorite X post of the day. Take a look
She's
at this.
kind of cute.
Dear real Donald Trump, I have an idea for the next director of the National Security Agency, the NSA. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be, oh my God.
If that happened, I would get a tattoo of NSA on my butt cheek.
I would shave my head and withhold sex from liberals.
Okay.
I don't know what I would do.
Dilly. Nice. All right, I'm back. Hold on. Let me, I want to pop up the chat window in a minute. I can't repeat it all, but I can show it. But yeah, at least that covers over. Well, we did the testing of the chat window. We'll bring that back in a minute. The internet, Mr. Tecumseh. I did the toxic feminism. We'll kind of combine the battery and the updates in the same thing. Well, I'm going to put this back on in a minute. But before we do that, let's bring up. Let me turn this off, and let me just kind of pop. Now I'll make actually like. Not just shortcuts, but like hotkeys, so that this can go a lot faster. But at first, I wanted to make sure that this would kind of work. So, for anybody who's interested, you can read the replies to that, which I thought were pretty damn good. Especially Brett, interesting. Definitely very interesting. And Jamie, yep. Just bye. Come on, that's some good stuff. So, yeah, whoever wants to watch that later on, I can see it over on this monitor. So it is doable. And again, tweaking will follow later on, which is kind of neat. But yeah, I kind of like that. It was fun. Let's come back to me without the chat real quick. And I want to bring up, let me close this out. The other nice thing, too, is I noticed that when the mixer was on in the past, that mixer that I showed you, I would get glitching on the monitors. And I think I've ironed that out, right? Because there's always, you do something and then it causes new problems, stuff you have to kind of go through. Same thing with the feedback. I think I've pretty much nailed most of that down, so there shouldn't be any feedback, or on occasion you might hear for a second until I cancel it out. But we're getting there. So we got, let's see, timeout is, I can minimize that. We're an hour 32, so we got a little bit of time left, and I just wanted to show you, let me cue it up. I want to show you guys, I'm working on a job. I already sold it. It came out really nice. And where do I have it? Let me just kind of cruise back through it, because I actually haven't seen it in a while. So I'm not sure if I even know where it is. But, yeah, here, let me just show you this real quick. This is, Brett is harsh. I know. Next Brett will be writing. Yeah, that's awesome. Let me show you this. So close this out. Live scene setup. So this is kind of how I hurt my neck. Getting all the stuff done that I needed to get done. And I've been looking through stuff, and I'm like, well, where is all of this stuff? I'll show you. Let's bring over the right monitor. I'll turn the audio on, too. This is all raw footage, so coming up with a few things here and there. All right. Kind of a waste. Everything's in my way over here, including the ladder. But the good thing is I've been digging out. I found some of the boards for my scaffold frames. They're getting beat. They're old. They're like, some of that wood is like 200 years old. It came from the old lace mill, which was here. Well, the lace mill made the first, I think it was the 13-star flag, in mass. Anyway, commercially. Let's go take a walk up there and see. Like I said, it's good that I'm doing this because I'm finding everything and I'm looking for stuff. I'm still looking for my baker's scaffold. That's what that is for. I dug that out of my little basement in the shop. What a pain in the ass. But I don't want it to get ruined heavy either. So I don't know what I did with the scaffold frame for that. That's different. And this guy's going to have to be, this is going to be for junk. We'll use it for scrap, for stuff like I made on my Simplicity Sunstar lift bars and stuff because it's not the right size. It's the right size, but these are in the wrong spot. These cleats. And I think it's the only one I have, so that's marked for deletion. Let's go up and take a peek. Yeah, let's real quick. So that was that rot that was up there. And I first treated it. All right, it's getting windy and cold out. So step one was I cleaned all of this off a while back. But I came in here, I might want to blow it some compressed air one more time. And I cut these back and I trimmed this. And now I wrote it down. I need a piece that I'm going to need to cut. All right, so I'm just going to breeze through it. So that's about a quart of mixed
That's resin.
product. So it was a little thick because it's old. So it took...
It dried. It took like a night to dry, like almost a day.
Change the f-stop a little bit.
It's polyester resin.
Get you a little brighter. Yeah, and I really pushed it in there with the brush.
Oh, it's soaked right in.
I'm going to mix in a ton of hardener because, like I said, it is old product. It was getting dark, like amber. It should have been more clear. But I think we did good. We got just about everything we need.
All right, let me get to... I just wanted to show you guys that. So, what was this one here, real quick? Yeah, I think I was lifting this thing up. I actually lifted up this right. Yeah, I was able to lift it up. That tractor's strong. This thing's heavy. I needed to move it a bunch of times, and I just could not move it. I'm like, I'm too tired. I'm getting too tired to move this damn thing. Rev it up. Up it goes. Yeah, that's nice.
I'll show you what I want to do. Hold on.
So I wanted to put some of that stop leak in the tires because they keep going flat. Let me show you the next part. I mixed up some of that stuff. I think this might be it. Next day, dry it up good.
Day. Yeah, it's getting hard, fellas.
Let me turn it louder.
Yeah, it's still a little soft in a few spots. I bet you if you put a little tacky, I'm willing to bet that if you put another coat on of some better product, it would be better. You know, really. But it will tighten up more over time. All right, now I can go make that piece, test fit it, and I can come back and spray foam in.
Yep. Now I'll show you the spray foam. I'll get to that. Hold on. Now keep in mind that this is the gable end, so that really doesn't do anything. It just needs to be sealed. And it either powder post beetles and or ants, I'm not sure, but it got eaten up. It was not like that years ago when I was working back there. So let's see. Are we in the right spot? Yeah, Samsung. Yeah. So I just grabbed my cell phone. Yeah, here we go. So I made this piece to fit in, you know, I needed a piece to bring me out a little further before the molding goes.
All right, just some of the scrap. It's got to be like 3/16 or whatever weird 11 something or other. I was just scraping off a little bit of the old gasket that I saw at the bottom of the ledger. Like this plate here. That's actually the interior of the door jamb, so we got some damage back there. But we'll be all right. This fits nice in the drip edge. This is starting to heal up nice. It's starting to get solid.
And then I started putting some material on. So I haven't really edited, and this is not all unedited. So I'm working, right now I'm just kind of working in the spray foam. And then I'll put that filler panel back. And I'm squirting it in all the different holes and recesses. There you go.
I'll come back and babysit it and knock it down. That's what I've been doing, because it's going to like triply expand.
But it's sealed.
But I had enough left to run over the top bead for the most part. But we can always add a little bit more before we put the top piece on whatever I make here.
I'm looking around for some lumber. I think I have something.
Yeah, I got something to make.
But that's going to come another day. I'm going to go work on my leaf project.
Yeah,
do some other stuff.
God.
And like I said, I'll just come back and babysit it. But we're basically done.
I think there's one more walk around. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that looks good. It's going to rain the next few days. So...
Yeah, and it did.
By the time I come back, that'll all be nice and hard. And I was able to, cut out the cardboard. It wasn't really that bad.
Yeah, that came
But that's
nice.
Sealed. Like water's not going to get in there really.
No.
It's already getting pretty stiff. So, all right.
That's what she
enough for
said.
today.
All right, now let me just show you one more thing. I'm going to go back to here. Is it the 64? Nope. It's this. So that's the door. That's with the... Well, two more things. That's with the Vivor.
All right, last quick look. And
It's so much quieter and warmer in here. These doors are all done. Everything is... All the gaskets are on.
a lot of times I don't need...
I had to make... Oh, everything is custom. I had to make all of this.
Nice.
It's bolted in nice.
Look at that later.
It's tight.
But yeah, and then
No
I can
leaks, no air coming through. I still have to refinish the outside. But there's one more thing. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, here we go. Is it here? Yeah, see this piece here?
This guy here, a little short, but you can see where I'm going with it.
That's the
It's gonna be
sill.
perfect.
All rebuilt,
It's just
was all
about
rotted.
the right length. Now let's go here.
Let me adjust the camera. So this is like, I don't know, 8th steel or 3/16 or something.
Let's do the f-stop. Adjusting f-stop. All right, I got to move this guy. And I want to move... We're going to move this. So this is what we're going to use. It's perfectly long. We'll weld some brackets on the end and we'll get the right angle I need. We'll do this as a project for another day, but we'll get this cleaned up. I was going to pick up like a cheap plasma cutter and have some fun with it, but I decided against that. I'm going to wait until I can afford a better one. Now let's move this guy. And we got to move that guy. And we
So
gotta move
again,
the
that'll
ladder.
go-
But you can see...
That'll go here. Once I cut it to length. See, I've already installed, so that's a piece of oak. So all of the underlayment has all been replaced because it rotted. And that's all sealed. And I made the gaskets for the bottom of the door and reinforced the door. And you got the bolt and all of that. And then I added a piece of steel in there on the edge so we could bolt it in. I could drop pins. And I want an additional transition to get me up and over so I don't, like, if I want to move the right or any machine like that, I don't want it scuffing and making a mess and having a you don't want to have to lift the machine. You want to have it either roll it yourself or drag it or push it with the tractor or pull it with the hoist that I have on the lift table. And you want a nice transition. And I think that piece of steel, once it's cut to length, you can see here, it'll provide a nice ramp. It'll come out a little bit more. It'll be a little bit less of an angle. It won't have that angle. It won't be as steep as that. And so the hardwood oak will resist scuffing. I didn't paint it. I just put clear on it because it's going to get scuffed. The steel on the end is going to give me that, bracing and allow me to kind of bump things into it, and also allow me to bolt in or pin in a steel plate to get that transition. And I think it's going to be that'll be a nice little project. And as soon as that's done, then I'll bring the right in. All right, I'm coming back. That's when the right will come in because that thing's heavy. It's going to probably have to be dragged in, be my guess. It kind of runs, but it doesn't run well. And to make matters worse, because it doesn't run well, when you go throwing those levers, fellas, for the drive, this thing's a brute. If it knocks into something, it's going to damage it.
It'll damage whatever it knocks into. It won't be damaged. It's made out of heavy steel, and it's powerful. So I got to get that in. I got to go over it. I want to go over. I was going to do it in the garage, and maybe I still may have to hoist it up in the garage, but I still need to solve the issue with bringing things in and out of those doors. That's the opening that I have to work with. And there's a step on the other opening too, the big opening. It's like a 10-foot opening. That's what I have to deal with. So that's how I'm going to solve it. So once I get all that done, and at some point I was looking through my lumber, and I have some nice lumber, 1 inch by 6 inches by length. I'll make a nice molding panel for the above the door, and I'll maybe put some styling on it, and I'll redo the whole back section and all the other molding over the windows. And I was looking at the front of the building. All the T111 is rotting all around the building. So all of that's going to have to be replaced, and I got to do the siding on the house. So that's why I've been working so hard, and I got all the cleanup done for the most part all around the yard. So I got pretty far. I mean, I got as far as I can deal with. I think there was one more thing I wanted to show you guys. The barge. It's not a barge horn. It's it's two things. Sometimes you'll hear the diesel. Down here we have both electric and we have diesel trains. So the freights or the trains that go all the way out to Montauk Point. Montauk Point, there's no power out there for the trains. It's really old school. So you'll hear the diesel trains come through, and they blare their horn. And then what you just heard was right up the block. We don't even pay attention to it. It's the old air horn for the firehouse and the fire signals. And we just don't want to get rid of it. We like it. I don't mind it. We don't even pay much attention. You'll sometimes hear it in one of my videos, and that's when I'll go, they'll blast at 12 o'clock, and I'll be like, oh, lunchtime, gotta go, and I'll just disappear, So it's we really don't even really notice it, and it's just so cool because it's old school. It's actually an air horn. I mean, the air raid sirens back in the day were powered either by the Buick Wildcat engine or the Hemi, the Chrysler Hemi. Remember the ones that, well, they were driven by big 8-cylinder engines. This one is just an air compressor, and it blows through, and they give the different signals. But it's fun, I like it. It's really neat. So let me see. Let me come back to you guys a minute just to show you. Let's see, split chat screen. It's kind of neat. Brett goes, I'm just saying how I feel. Jamie's like, you go, girl. Jamie goes, Brett is harsh. Next Brett will be writing. Yeah, I'll leave up there. Just saying how I feel. Arch and I were talking about that tractor the other day. Great length. Yeah, yep. I love it. It's so cool. Bleach, hey, Bleach. Been attempting to clean the garage. Yeah, I catch some of your shorts and stuff and whatever, and a little bit. I poke at everybody. I don't always comment. I was never really much of a commenter. I do occasionally, but I was not. Because you know why? Because I'm doing this most of the time, right? Like when Mater, in order to comment on Maters, right, what I do, if I feel like commenting on Maters, I'll start watching Mater's show. Because it's usually after work. So I'll come in and I'll be eating and I won't really comment, and I'll put my feet up, and then I log on to Mater's show. This is my common thing, usually once a week, and then I watch him on the monitor right there, right? This monitor right here, that one there, not that one, this one, right? Well, sometimes that one, and I'll watch him on that. I'm sitting here, I bring him up. Oh, look, it's 10:10, fellas. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see that. It's 10:10. Synchronous. Oh, it just went off. There it goes. You're not going to be able to see it. Too much glare. So I'll be sitting here. I'll bring him up. And then I'll usually either mute him on the monitor or... Because there's a lag. There's a lag between the two. Whichever one I decide to mute. But I can watch it on the big monitor. And then I can make my stupid comments on the cell phone. And I sometimes do that... with Ken's show, because if I take a break, a lot of times I'll stop in. I can kind of hear it when I'm in the shop and in the garage and even a little bit outside. And then I'll come in for lunch or a break or smoke or whatever. And I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll put my feet up, nice and cozy, right? and then I'll start making my stupid comments. You know, how cool is that? It's the setup, fellas. You got to get set up. You need monitors for that. I used to have big audio in here, like big speakers and big amps, and I miss that. I was a noisy effer when I was younger. I was the noisiest neighbor. You would not want me around. And the hot rods and people coming over with their hot rods and the Corvettes and the bands playing here and me rehearsing on a nice day with the windows open. I'm quiet now compared to the way I used to be. So let me bring you back to this thing here. Let me see. I got to get used to doing this. So once I get like a hotkey set up, it'll be nice, right? Tempting to clean the garage. It's good. I saw that you got a lot of it cleaned up and then you shoved everything back in piles. But that's what you do sometimes. You do it in stages and you throw out or reappropriate, find new places, give stuff away. And then at some point you got to shove stuff out of your way. But you just got to keep at it. Like it beats your head up after a while. You get kind of sick of it. You know, and then you stop and you just got to go back at it. What was that barge horn? I hear barges all the time around here being on a... Yeah, definitely. I like sirens too. They're kind of nice in a way. The horn has sounded like a mighty, the mighty hour. Maybe it says, so how do you know what makeup tips I'm giving you? Yeah. So yeah, I was doing that again the other night too. I was just sit back, kick my feet up. A lot of the shows I watch like that, but I start getting quiet, and then I get into the zone, and I just want to relax and chill out, or I'll sit back like this and I'll watch, and then I have my switch of monitors or the cell phone. And now that I've got the wireless out here properly and more wired out here, this works properly now. The only thing it doesn't do well is I need a microphone. It's even Brett's with the new iPhone. It doesn't sound good when Brett goes live. You can't hear him. There's something wrong with it. When you talk on the phone, it sounds fine. When I try to do a video or go live, it's too low. So I need a mic, and that's on a list. I'm not sure which one I want. I might just want to do, maybe get one of those like Meta has, like the wireless mics. I might pick up a wireless mic sometime next year that I can plug into the cameras and to this, just get the adapter. And that way I solve two problems, because it is nice sometimes to have a wireless mic, plug it into the cameras, walk around, do what I got to do, or plug it into this. And then if I would just want to hop on Ken's show, all right, I'll just put it in widescreen, plug the wireless in, clip the wireless here. I can prop it up on one of my stands. I can say, hey, stop in for 20 minutes, a half hour, while I can show people what I'm up to, because Ken would be like, what are you doing, Arch? What are you doing? I'm doing this, Ken. Look, see? So that's coming, because now I have the wireless working well out here, and then I'll have 1 gig internet up, so there will be no lag. Like right now, it's lagging. The show is like a couple of seconds behind, at least, maybe 5 seconds behind. I have to set it to like high latency, because if I don't, with 4 megabits up, it'll collapse. The show will fall apart. Well, hopefully by next Tuesday, fellas, next Saturday, that won't be a problem anymore. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's pretty psyched. All right, let me see if I can find one more thing and we'll get out of here. I just wanted to show you what I sold the other day, and I'll put together a video on this. It's just a nice black Craftsman lawnmower with the Honda engine, and the video is probably going to be broken up into different elements. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I got a couple of videos coming out. I'm waiting to upload them for Tuesday night. I'm going to try and upload a few videos on Tuesday night at once and see what it does. I'm like, let's push it. Let me see if I can find this crap. Hold on. We'll get out of here. Let me see what you guys are saying. I like that. I'm just kind of like leaving up the chat window, and that's nice. That's nice. Let's see. How do you know? I was on the iPad for Ken's show today. Yeah, that setup is good. Everybody likes that setup. Ken and I were talking about it. I'm like, Ken, I got to try to see if I can convince him into doing that. It's good. It just works for you. If you want it a little bit louder, I mean, that's That's every YouTuber's problem, is the microphone. Always. If you want a little bit louder, either use that headset or get a wireless. I know money's tight. I get it. But it was too low initially, and it was like really, really low. Then you tried the headset. It was better. By the way, all these headsets, like this headset, if I were to turn it on and speak through this, it sounds like shit. Really bad. The wireless that Mater has, and his camera sounds good, and he has a little shotgun like this, but it's a little smaller. I like that. That sounds good. This is the world. You know, if you're close to the phone or if you're close to something, even if it sounds like crap, it's louder. But I think, Brett, it's acceptable. It's a little bit lower, but if Ken wants, he can bring you up. He just doesn't care because that, StreamYard's going away. But he doesn't really need to. Whereas before it was really low, and I was texting him like, see if you can adjust everybody. It's too much of a pain in the ass. Some people are really loud. Some people have really good mics. Some people don't. I think you're just about solved. Certainly good enough. And we'll see what happens when he gets the re-live or redirect. I don't know, whatever you called it. Blood Nose goes, can we get small P-Lady poster on the back wall? That's a good idea. I used to have a big plotter printer. My printer's shot right now. I bought the cheap ink and it blew up and it just contaminated everything and it doesn't work and I got to pull the printer apart. Don't buy cheap ink. Yeah, E-Stream, Restream, yeah. Mitch, are you leaving? I think Mitch is, have a good evening, sir. He might be out here. Let me see if I could just find that while we're getting out. Yeah, Restream. That's what the P-Lady does. She restreams. See if I can find it. What did I do? Oh, I think I know where it is. Hold on. I think I know where it is. Might be on the OBS. Just wanted to show a little bit of this. Let's see. Do I have it? If I can find... Oh, yeah. We'll breeze through it real quick. I show a little bit about painting it, but I wanted to just do a quick walkthrough. And it sold immediately. Immediately. I didn't ask too much for it either. I'm very fair with my pricing. Let's see. I'll bring this up. I'm not sure which monitor it's going to come up on, but we'll get to that. Let's see. Which one do I want to show you? I probably did a walk around with it. Is it this one? Let's try this one. We'll just kind of bump through a few. Hold on, I got to move it. I'm coming. Now, what we might... so, yeah, here's some carburetor footage. Let me see what gasket aside. But so I was talking about gaskets. I'm going to turn this down a little. Let me see. That's a nice shot. Isn't that a nice shot? All right. Here we are. We're set up. So I'm going over the carburetor. I'm talking about gaskets and stuff like that, setting up the choke properly. See that choke tang? But that's a nice, clean shot. This is the one that's more vulnerable. All right. Down, right? Because you don't. And I think the whole thing will be in segments. I went away and did a few things. Now this is where I can show you here. So I test it without the plastic on. This flapper here. See the flapper? Part of the control, right, for our semi-automatic clock choke. So let me. And that way you can test it. And yes, the carburetor needed to be tweaked. It needed some tuning and some drilling. Ah, that looks good. Let's see, is there another shot? Oh, there's a nice carb shot. All right, I'm coming. Hold on. That's something else. All right, let me close that out. I think that's the shots that I wanted you to see, and then I was putting it back together. Look at how nice it came out. Dropping a nice freshened up Honda engine on. All right. I went over the motor on the bench. I show that. That's separate. Here's how the setup works. So I'm explaining how to properly adjust all of this. Because a lot of people don't know. You were going to go or you put it. I just wanted to cruise through this. Cable there.
shot. I'll move on. I just wanted to put
getting the good shots. Oh, I'm putting the oil in.
Where it's you know.
And I'm demonstrating how I check the oil because people freak out when I tell them and they don't understand what I'm saying. I think that's it. Yeah.
Oh, she looks really.
Yeah, I think that's it. What else did I want to show you guys? I went over the engine, and I think there was some good shots of, yeah, we'll just kind of breeze through these real quick, just real quick. It's nice when it's up on the table,
on my left camera
and
here,
you can,
it's actually the cheaper camera.
You can tie in nice with a camera and show different things. Do I have, where's the one with the, yeah, here we go. That's a nice overhead. Prying open that the sealed valve cover. One of these shots did not come out good, and I redid it. It wasn't clear for some reason. I tried a different setting.
Almost out of shot.
They'll all be separate videos. Who the hell knows when I'll finish them? That's a nice shot.
All right.
Nice and clean, clear.
There we go.
There's another good shot.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that thing, they were on tight.
I mean, I like it tight, but you know.
Yeah, we all like it tight.
All right, let's drive it in.
Oh, hold on.
Just snug
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hold on, I hit the wrong button. Nice shot. All right, let me get out of this one. Come back and I'll see if I can find the last walkthrough, and then we'll get out of here on that. If I can find it. But that's going to be a fun video. That's those videos though are a pain in the ass to do. I don't actually like doing them in a way because there's a lot of footage you have to get in order to do a video, you know, different videos. Like I'm doing on how to do the valves, and then I'm doing the video on how to do the carburetor and how to properly assemble it and how I test it. And a lot of people don't understand how to set up those old clock style chokes. They get them wrong. So I want to make sure you can get in there and see it. And that's a separate video. And then the tuning, because it needed to be tuned. Because a lot of these older Honda engines, you know, the EPA constricts everything so much. So when they first come over here, they probably are fine. Some aren't, but generally speaking, they're fine. You put some age on it, the motor gets a little bit worn, and where I am, I'm at sea level. I'm 2 feet above sea level. So they go lean, and then they don't idle right, they don't run right, they pulse, they act weird, they don't like starting. This thing started right up. Let's see, do I have that? Let me just take a quick look. I don't remember where everything is, fellas. So, you know, like I said, I have so many videos. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. We'll run through this real fast because it did come out nice. Yeah, that's nice. It's all unedited footage, so. Runs mint. I might have the run on it in here somewhere. So, kind of like Mr. Tecumseh, right? You know, I don't make them super shiny or anything. That I don't. They're like a dull, more of like a Satan finish, you know, because you want to hide some of the blemishes. I'm not looking to make the thing eat offable super mint. It's going to look like crap, and you know, as soon as you start running it over your lawn. But it's rust free. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all OEM parts. I think it took 2 machines to make one. I did put new wheels on the front. And this guy, young fella, the other thing that I like about it too is a younger fella, which I just want to mention something about him. Lives in the area. He's in his late 30s. Just got a house recently. You know, yada, 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 the whole thing.
Out. We complain about
Wait, hold on. Let's see. I was talking to Ken. You hear it? That's what they do. Yeah, I was actually, right here, my ex-wife shows up, and I'm talking to Ken, and it was funny. So did I put up the next one? There's one where I think I showed it running. That was the first indication. I was telling, it's not running right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is like the next day. It's either this one. It might be, yeah, it's this one. We want to test it with the air cleaner on. Yeah, here we go. Cold. See what I mean? That started right up cold. And it had... Let me come back. We'll get out of here. It had the atypical... Like you just saw, started up after putting it all together, never seen it run. And it's going, and Ken's on the phone. He's like, all right, and my ex-wife, and she's like, what's going on with it? All I had to do is pull it back apart, a little bit of tuning, put it all back together, put the air cleaner on it, and that was cold. So I know how these things are, but you got to go through them. And he started up dead cold, pull the clock, pull the handle. I'm like, you got to be quick. That's the only bad thing about it, because that clock is going, right? It times out. One pull. He loved it. He loved it. And he was in his late 30s. And he actually works for the town. He got a job with the town, something to do with like EPA with the town. He's actually a scientist. Actually, he wound, well, almost. He has a degree in chemistry. And that was not good enough. Like, it's very hard to find a job and something that's consistent. But once he's, secured the town job, he's in. He'll, give him 25 years. He'll be retired. He'll do fine. So that's the kind of jobs that are around that if you really, if you want to have a stable life, and these houses are $500,000 and that's for another day. But I want to say thank you to everybody. It is Rob, AZ. We're getting out of here now, Robbie. He goes, I put a finger on the carb spring to stop the surging. Works every time. Yeah, the old finger trick. No, I got to make sure that these things are right? Because you can't expect, a lot of people don't even know. Which, by the way, I think, tomorrow I'm going to see Christy. She's bringing her machine. Her machine basically is that machine, but it's got a brakes motor on it. So she bought it for me a couple of years ago, and, runs really good. So I think she's had it for at least a season. I want to say at least a season. And she said she was going to bring it in and maybe just kind of have it tuned up or whatever. And then the season came and went. So she's been using it all year. It's been running really good. After I first sold it to her, she went home and proceeded to take her old can of gas with water in it and poured it right into the tank. And back she was. And she's not on the video, but she helped me film it. So she actually got behind the camera and she did a terrific job. That's Chrissy. And she did a terrific job. And I cleaned up her gas tank, and I had to clean out the tank on the mower, and I had to clean out her carburetor. And I think at the end, her girls were saying goodbye. And it was really cute. So she's going to be here tomorrow. She says, it's running a little rough. So, all right, drop it off. So she'll be here tomorrow. I almost forgot about that. So I get to say hi to her. Nice lady, nice young lady. Hang out with her for a little bit, and then I'll take care of her machine and get it back to her, so that, because it's still leaf season, kind of, at least for a little bit longer, but I'm done with my leaves. And by the way, Robbie, I don't know if you heard, but by next Tuesday, I will have 1 gig up and 1 gig down on Fiverr. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping in this episode of Arch's Garage. Let me see. Hold on. Before I get out, hold on. There was an outro. Yes. There was an outro. I got to put this one on a hot button as well. Dilly! What knows? Dilly! Yeah, get rid of that. And let's see. Yes, here we go. Happy Thanksgiving!